How did Taylor Swift save Ed Sheeran's life? When darkness threatened to snuff out his light and despair tried to take away his inspiration, there was someone who reached out to Ed Sheeran and helped him out of the dark times. That person was Taylor Swift, the Miss Americana, who became his lifeline, and together, they navigated through a decade of friendship and success that goes beyond just music. Because songs are more than just melodies. They're stories, dreams, and bridges between people. In this video, you'll discover how Taylor saved Ed Sheeran's life. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when there's new content. Ready? Let's get started. There's no doubt that in the world of music, strong bonds are formed between artists. A very unique case is that of Ed Sheeran and Taylor Swift, a relationship that, over the years, has grown stronger, maintaining constant friendly contact. Now, more than 10 years have passed since Ed Sheeran and Taylor Swift first met, and since then, they have built one of the most solid and creative friendships in the music industry. Although they started as emerging artists seeking their place in the world of music, today they are two of the biggest pop stars on the planet. However, behind their success lies a story of admiration, collaboration, and mutual support that has helped them reach the top. Their friendship began back in 2012. Swift was already a big artist and a fan of what Sheeran was doing, even though he was still relatively unknown at the time. She admired his talent so much that she wrote the lyrics of one of her favorite songs on her arm when she went to see him perform live in Australia. When Ed found out about this, he wanted to meet her, and he did through his manager in Nashville. They hit it off right away. That same year, they released their first collaboration together, Everything Has Changed, which was part of Taylor's successful album, Red. The chemistry between them translated into the music, making the song a global hit, with over 400 million views on YouTube to date. It marked the beginning of a successful creative partnership that would shape their careers. Over the years, Ed and Taylor have built up a trust that's rare to find in the music industry, which can be complicated and controversial. Ed has said that Taylor is one of the few people who truly gets his situation and with whom he can be completely honest about his insecurities and the pressures he faces. They share everything from details about their personal lives to their dreams and fears in the industry through conversations that can go on for hours. I have long conversations with Taylor about stuff just because I feel like she's one of the only people that actually truly understands where I'm at, the artist said in an interview with Apple Music. I mean, that in itself is kind of therapy as well, because you're actually talking to someone that genuinely gets it, he has said. Maybe because they understand each other so well, this strong connection shows up in songs like Everything Has Changed, Endgame, and their latest collaboration, The Joker and the Queen. But it turns out that besides being creative partners, Swift has been there for Sheeran during tough times. To understand why, let's go back to 2022, a critical year for the British singer. You see, early that year, life took away not just one, but two of his best friends, music entrepreneur and SBTV founder Jamal Edwards and cricket player Shane Warne. After these losses, Ed Sheeran fell into a deep depression, not wanting to live anymore and feeling like there was no light at the end of the tunnel. Jamal Edwards' death was especially tragic as he had given Sheeran his first shot in music, and his death was sudden and scandalous. He died of a heart attack after using cocaine and alcohol, as determined by a forensic analysis. The world was falling apart for Sheeran, who had already battled deep depression before. But this time, it felt even stronger, like it was ready to take everything away. You're under the waves drowning. You're just sort of in this thing, and you can't get out of it, he explained. But that wasn't the only tough time he had to endure. Soon after Edwards' death, Sheeran's wife, Seaborn, was diagnosed with a tumor while she was pregnant. It couldn't be removed until after their second daughter, Jupiter, was born. You feel so powerless, Sheeran remembered. There's nothing you can do about it. And as I said, this period was truly a constant challenge for him. While trying to cope with his grief and navigate his wife's illness, another issue erupted. The headlines were flooded with sensational news that Ed Sheeran had allegedly plagiarized a song. It was the romantic and highly successful Thinking Out Loud. According to Marvin Gaye, a portion of the chords in this song sounded similar to Get It On, a song he authored. The conflict led to a lengthy copyright trial. Although Seaborn eventually completed her pregnancy and underwent successful surgery in June 2022 and in 2023, the trial ruled in favor of Sheeran, declaring that Ed Sheeran had not committed any plagiarism. These circumstances took a serious toll on the artist's mental health. These events were so intense that they even led Sheeran to break down in tears on stage as he processed everything that was happening in his life. It's remarkable how rapidly these things unfolded, leaving him with hardly any time to process and find peace with his thoughts. But one thing's for sure, he wasn't alone. In addition to his wife and his production team, Ed Sheeran had the support of his long-term friend Taylor Swift. You see, the influence of the all-too-well singer played a big role too. Taylor is a pioneer in storytelling through her lyrics and videos, breaking molds in the industry and turning songs into sincere forms of expression, a mechanism to cope with everything that is going as it's not supposed to go. And why am I telling you this? Well, that's exactly what helped Ed Sheeran find his way out of the darkness. On May 5th, 2023, Ed Sheeran released his 6th studio album, Subtract, an album that, in addition to following the mathematical themes seen in his previous works, also underwent a complete rewrite to capture the backdrop of pain and hope he experienced throughout the previous year. It's an album that returns to the artist's roots and stems from personal pain and the story of overcoming adversity that he himself had to go through. But what does Taylor Swift have to do with all of this? She plays a crucial role in all of this. Without her, without the support she's given the singer over these years, this album, or this way of coping, wouldn't have happened. Back in 2021, Taylor Swift insisted that her friend Ed Sheeran collaborate with Aaron Dessner from The National, who worked on Taylor Swift's albums during the lockdowns, Folklore, and Evermore, a tough time for Taylor, who was also dealing with her mental health. I think most of us can understand that. The lockdown was hard, but getting back to Ed and Taylor, she thought Aaron could really help Ed. At first, Ed wasn't sure about the idea, maybe because being so open, sensitive, and honest in his lyrics wasn't his thing. But one day they met, had dinner, talked about life and music, and Aaron made him a promise to send him instrumental tracks so he could turn them into finished songs when inspiration struck. And Aaron Dessner kept his promise. To Ed Sheeran's surprise, he absolutely loved the music's vibe, but they weren't going to immediately turn it into Subtract. It's not that the songs weren't good, but Subtract was originally planned as a collection of acoustic songs recorded over a 10-year period, so it was pretty much finished, or at least that's what Ed thought. That's when life hit rock bottom for him, when all those bad things started happening that seemed to defeat the singer. Following Taylor's advice, Ed Sheeran took those feelings and instead of turning to alcohol or other harmful substances, he wrote some more. All those emotions and thoughts turned into songs. And those songs, with Aaron Dessner's help, became what we hear on Subtract today. It shows a more vulnerable and elemental side of his music. In an Instagram post, Ed Sheeran tells us this story himself and wraps up by saying, "Thanks to Aaron and John for the insane amount of hard work and dedication you put into this project and bringing out a side of me I had put on mute for so long. And of course, thanks to Swizzle, as always, you rock X." How many people can say they have such a strong and unwavering friendship? Probably very few. The truth is, a lot has been said about Ed Sheeran and Taylor Swift being at the center of one of the most talked about friendships in the music industry. Since their first collaboration, they've often been seen together, and naturally, fans have wondered if they could have been a couple at some point. And you know what? Thinking about that is kind of funny. But here's the thing. Ed Sheeran was asked about this rumor on The Breakfast Club podcast. Someone wondered why, if they care about each other so much, they're just friends. Ed got serious and explained, "It's not like that. I don't know. It's just that we met professionally first. We were writing songs together." Then jokingly, Ed mentioned he'd look like a hobbit next to the tall Taylor, and that settled it. The idea of romance was out. The truth is, they've built a musical family, and that's worth much more than any potential ex relationship. What a story, right? They've been shaping their artistry side for over a decade, overcoming obstacles together in partnership that has undoubtedly left its mark on the history of contemporary pop music. And of course, on Ed Sheeran's life. Now remember, if you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching,